You know, I just realized that I messed up on something. At this point, I usually go, well, lords and ladies, sorry, welcome back to MyStreet 5 years later with your host, Jacob Butter. And then the thing that I used to do at this point was come into here and then, I press a button while that was loading and then there might be some intro music. I have a new audio interface I did not have last time I did a 5 years later. So I have the pads and could have done that. I forgot to cue it in. So once again, we are rendered by pure silence, even though it has been 3 months since the last 5 years later took place. But oh, what a special one this is today. Well, I mean, anything would be special at this point. It has been, again, 3 months. But this episode particularly has something to do with it, which is curious in of itself. Because before Aidan and I actually met each other, we both were doing reviews, 5 years ago when the actual episodes came out. Surprisingly, though, this was the first one that Aidan reviewed himself. He started episode 13, and so this was the first one that we both have reviewed back in the day, and now we are here back to repeat what we said in some way. So here's Aidan right now.
Hello.
Now, if I remember, I think you started on episode 13, I'm guessing because you were doing some other... I think Mighty Demons might have been out by this point. You were doing Mighty Demons reviews, and then
Was
this
I?
came out. I might be
Myron
getting
Demons
the
didn't
timeline
come
wrong.
out yet. Myron Demons came out like after MyStreet this season came out. After season 6 came out.
I thought there was some amount of overlap. Maybe not. I know it was like, 5 years ago, like, it was 2019 for sure. So, but okay, either way, I remember you did my Demons reviews. So why did you start with episode 13? Because you just had the idea and it was the most recent one.
I just had it and it was the most recent one.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It wasn't that deep, honestly.
Yeah, that is fine. Yeah, because, back at that point, of course, and it was still airing, it was very much expected you'd do the thing that was the most recent one. And as far as the algorithm goes, can completely understand that one. Anyways, we're not alone today, of course. We do have Emily with us today, who always says that she has no idea what to say in these ones, and therefore did not do the reviews back in the day. So
Hi, I've never watched this episode, actually.
Oh, even better. Even better. Okay. So it's like a back to a roots for Aidan and I, and it's a what on earth is going on for you? Even that is quite something. Well, okay. You're pleased to know I did not forget my Levi drink this time, or the actual popcorn, so I am good to go. And I think this time I've got a better quality download than I usually have. So again, there's all this evolution, apart from my sound pad. And we're immediately greeted with Lucinda, of course. Okay.
The best character.
Yeah, well, to summarize what happened before, I guess.
So they got on a boat, right? Aphmau got resurrected. They made a plan to go save Gareth, Caitlin, and Aaron and Travis that are all on this thing. So they stole a boat. They flew over to the island. They all got on the island, but then the island started rising because Michael was like, "Ooh," and now they're in the air. But Caitlin saw them, and now Caitlin is mad, so she's coming to kill them. So yeah. What do you mean? My that was a very good description.
I think what you missed out on was the fact that Caitlin and Garth are kind of being mind controlled, and that's why she's after them. That might be confusing.
They're mind controlled, and Travis is possessed by an evil demon.
Yeah, so
and Aaron may or may not be dead. He's in another dimension.
Oh my goodness. If people end up wanting to, have more MyStreet's talks from us after 5 years later, maybe just showing the series to Emily. I don't know. But for now, I guess we all got to start somewhere. Might as well, much like Aidan back in the day, might as well be here. So without further ado, on with the review.
Oh no.
Also, there's an editing mistake here. So okay, so keep playing it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Yeah.
this was the end cliffhanger. Kaden was like running up, going.
This is reuse footage we're currently at. But yeah.
Yes.
All right, so the previous shot, you're gonna see it more clearly, but the previous shot she didn't have a visor on, and last
Okay.
cliffhanger she didn't. But then from after starting with this shot onwards, whenever we see her character, she has that visor on. She didn't have that before, which. God, I hate how I kind of get why you couldn't add it on with the previously made animation technically. So I think it probably would have been hard.
Then you should have chosen to add it in post. Anyway.
Yeah.
You knew it was gonna be an error. That's
Yeah, but so now she has a visor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was never gonna work. Restrain her, please, old man and short queen.
Whoa.
Okay, now she's being extra. She did not need to backflip there. She's just going off now.
Okay, if I had that kind of power, I would show off. If I had that power and skill, I would show off. That's what I would do.
That is fair. This is also, I think, around the time that that aphmau got a second animator. I know for a while there was only one animator.
Okay, well, at first there was a team of animators when the season very much started, but then I think they left around the time of the early episodes. I think post episode 3 they were gone.
Ah, I see.
So and then it just was down to one animator who animated this fight scene between Aaron and Ian all the way back in season 4, which was Mama's Boy.
Yeah.
And then I think around this time period they got a new animator. So yeah, and so right now I think there are 2 animators.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I remember at some point someone mentioned there was a second animator. It might have been a community tab post at the time. Might have been a mid-episode intermission that we see, something like that. His nose is bleeding. Oh wait, no, they don't have noses. I forgot. Only werewolves have noses canonically in MyStreet.
Well, the noses are mentioned. We never see them though, unless they're in wolf form.
Yeah. I cast fireball.
She sucker punched her. It didn't work out though.
Yeah. Also, the visor didn't shatter, which I guess means it must be made out of some resistant material. Like maybe it's graphene.
Oh, she's getting punched straight in the chest.
Yeah, the one place she has armor. What kind of tactical advantage does that provide?
I mean, I guess the stomach's the weakest area, so I guess you could wind her if you punch her in the stomach hard enough.
Yeah, but even then, that was like a little further below. I guess aphmau is too short for Kane to reach, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is what I was saying earlier today. There was like the Nostalgia Critic video where Dante Basco just punching the air, like with just the 5 punches going honor, honor, honor over and over again.
Honor, honor.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no way in.
How would Caitlyn get out then?
That's There's maybe Michael just locked her outside.
Well, they probably had her prevailing from perimeter.
Yeah.
Making sure everything's in order. Although
the only way is to use parkour. That's why she's jumping so much. Kaden currently has a splash potion of leaping on her or jump boost, so that's why.
Does that count?
But I mean, yeah, but aphmau got shoved through there. That kind of hurt.
It's fine. She has armor.
Not on her back. Maybe.
Just armor.
Well, okay, that kind. Well, yeah. All the characters here got plot armor. What do you mean? The very few characters here actually have plot armor. I mean, Terry doesn't have plot armor. Ancient R, I would say, doesn't necessarily have plot armor.
I think he does. Remember the opening scene of this season?
Yeah. Never mind. Very few characters in this situation have plot armor. Well, all of them pretty much have plot armor, besides a few.
aphmau's like, you have jump boost 1, I have jump boost 2. Take that.
Hold her!
I'm trying.
I'm trying. I weigh nothing.
Is she?
She's suspended in ice, but it might not last as long as I'd like. Come on.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you freeze in real life, like your cells just start like expanding and you pretty much die instantly.
Let's go.
Well, to be fair, she has a forever potion on her. She gets a forever potion on her, so
Yeah.
it's not really the case of
Yeah, she's more resistant, yeah.
not a normal human at this point.
Hmm.
Boom.
It's just kind of like appeared there in the effect.
Are you all right?
We don't have much.
Ah, there we go.
She's spitting up blood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Internal bleeding.
I just got thrown around a little, that's all.
Yeah, because they didn't really like fix the hole in her chest that much. They just kind of covered over it, so yeah, it's very much.
Well, it was partially healed over, but not much healed over. Not to mention internal damage is still partially there anyways, because a laser did literally get shot through.
Is it just me, or does that gap look significantly smaller than the hole that was in the animation?
That's an understatement.
It's like 2 people can fit it.
Don't
Anyway.
push yourself too much.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're welcome for helping you with restrain Caitlin. I'm sorry that, you know.
Well, they're just concerned about her, okay?
I guess it just feels kind of weird for Lucinda to be saying that, like right after she told aphmau very specifically to hold Caitlin down.
I'll be fine.
Keep pressure on it. You know that.
Yeah. But I mean, Caitlin, honestly, Kawaii-chan's the only character who seems actually be affected by their injury constantly. Like, she can't do much because she got sliced in the chest. But aphmau, who literally died and came back to life and is barely functioning, still could do a lot during this season. So it's like, okay. And Aaron, who has a bunch of void burns and literally went through a lot of physical issues, can still do stuff. And Caitlin and Gareth have went through a bunch of physical fights and stuff, but can still do stuff. And so can literally Zane when he gets stabbed in the shoulder later, like straight through the shoulder.
I was gonna say the Zane shoulder thing would be the exception to what I'm about to say. All those other people have some excuse for why they are resistant, whether it's being werewolves or potion affected. I think at some point there was a comment that I read. Maybe it was like during the premiere of one of these videos, because I foolishly used to review the videos while they were premiering because I didn't know that was a feature yet, and so I had to reload the video when that happened. But someone said that Zane was basically the only regular human at this point still in the battle, so they were kind of curious about how he was going to do particularly. We don't know if Neef will have significantly, strength buffs of some kind.
I don't think they're strength buffed. I think they're more agility buffed.
Then Kawaii-chan is very much doomed right now.
Yeah, but like the thing with Zane though, the thing that annoyed me about his whole shoulder wound is like we literally got the scene that like he got slashed on the shoulder at first, yeah, but then like Garth literally dug the sword in his shoulder, and it's like, dude, your arm should be basically taken out of commission. Because like that's when this thing's just like, dude, you literally had a sword, a long sword stab straight into deep into your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Like at least you could argue with like the chest wound and like the initial shoulder wound. Hey, they're just skin level slashes. They're just like little bits of, like a thin slashes. He managed to move far enough where it was just a slight little slash. It's not that skin deep. But when you actually show the sword going deep into something, you can't exactly be like, oh, it's not a big deal. It is.
Particularly again because of the whole regular human thing, which is probably why I think some people, when I made the Zane music video that I did, thought that the implication was that Zane just died after that, because that was the last visual that I used, was the stabbing with the sword part looming over him. So it's like, I mean, when looked at from a certain point of view, but I like to think that most people who have watched that video have already seen MyStreet, potentially. Then again, that is my second most popular video on the channel, so there's a high chance some people might have, not seen it before. Somewhere in that mix.
How long is that ice going to hold Caitlin?
You just asked her that, as long as she focuses.
For a while, hopefully. The duration of an entrapment spell is usually determined by the strength of the person behind held. I haven't used that spell since...
Confirming that, once again, people do retain the memories from prayer potions.
Well, we already knew that.
Yeah,
Based off the
some
stuff
people-
Aphmau said.
Yeah, again, some people might not have been clear on that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean they're pretty clear, especially with the Zane line, where it's like I remember everything. Where he like when after Zane got free, he mentioned that he remembered everything that happened and how Aphmau must be feeling. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh
and
god, that's gonna become an issue. It's actually
Yeah, and with
remembers
Aphmau's year as well, there's a lot of dissecting what Aphmau was forced to do to Aaron at that point.
everything.
But I say that because most people, again, forget that Aphmau's year even existed.
Then Gareth.
Same.
Actually, someone said to me in my comments at one point, one of my old theories, that I got the timeline wrong because I said that this took place in 2018, but then
Yeah.
I
It's
said,
like,
no,
God,
yeah,
I remember.
I said so what they said in the comments was that it took place in 2017 because that's when season 5 started. It was just because there was the same summer period. But then I said to them, but this is where you forget Aphmau's year means there was a 1-year time skip. So Starlight is technically set in the future.
No,
And therefore,
but like, here's the thing. Like, that's always something that annoyed me. Like, I went on Reddit the other day, and like, I saw someone make a Aphmau timeline post, and they mentioned now, oh yeah, season 6 takes place in 2017. No, it doesn't. Like, it was literally stated at the end of Aphmau's at the end of season 4 that Aaron's gonna need a year to recover, and we already know from season 3.5 that that time period took place in 2017 because they literally went to Acon 2017. They get like it's in the case of they gave a hard year, and like a few months later they went to Starlight, and then a few months later they went to the cabin, or like a month or two later, timeline wise, and then we have
people are able
Aphmau's-
to calculate these things. They just miss Aphmau's year because they forget it exists. Emily, you remember Aphmau's year, don't you?
Nope.
Oh, it's the one where we were talking about this before we started the stream. By the way, remember we mentioned the werewolf ears thing?
Oh, yeah.
That was when that happened during Aphmau's year, because Melissa kind of caught her in the act and was like, "Can we talk about this?"
Can we talk about this? I'm not racist, guys. I'm just doing werewolf face. I'm doing werewolf face. It's okay.
That would have been Aphmau's response.
I'm not racist, guys. Trust me. I just we're wearing werewolf ears and impersonating a
Someone
werewolf.
clip that, please.
Oh my goodness. There's probably worse
Kidding.
stuff in the actual review that we did, which if you haven't seen that, by the way,
Probably.
go ahead and check the 5 years later back catalog. I'd say playlist, but I keep forgetting to add these to, everything.
We know how it feels. How it felt. Not being able to do anything. Being trapped in your own
there we
mind.
go.
They're still in there. They can hear us.
We know the
And that
pain
makes it
all too
worse
well.
and better. I mean, you're
I mean, if
aware
you're
of what's
self-conscious,
happening.
like,
You're actively aware of the horrible stuff you're doing. At least if you didn't know, you would feel bad about it, but you wouldn't have to see yourself. Or
Yeah, there's a lot of redemption arcs that are kind of like that. It's like
it's like
season 4 of Yu-Gi-Oh! He remembers nothing of the time he was under the control of your Recalcos. Therefore, he is completely redeemed. Wait, what? No!
Well, in the case of mind control, it's not like it was really them, unless it's a case of,
Yeah, it's just because there's that whole season hinged on the fact that the Pharaoh might have been evil in the past but didn't remember it. Anyway.
Seeing Caitlin like that just tears me apart.
Trust me, it's even worse face to face with her. But the Caitlin we
I mean, she knows. Lucinda was right there. I mean, okay.
No, I think she's
literally-
referencing because, like, Caitlin was explicit. Caitlin and Aphmau were brawling. They were directly in each other's faces.
I mean,
She was-
yeah, but I feel like it's close enough.
Know and love is still in there somewhere.
There has to be a way to revert them back to their normal selves.
I have no recollection. He only searched for ways to make the potions stronger, not ways to weaken them.
It's not really weaker necessarily. It's just a fail-safe antidote.
Terry.
Well, why would you need an antidote if you're controlling them, though?
Yeah, that's another thing for Michael.
I was about to be like, why would you want an antidote? Like, that's the opposite of what you'd want.
Yeah.
Trying to strengthen them.
I don't recall completely, but why would you... From what I remember, he continually searched for lesser ingredients that would eliminate weaker emotions within the host.
Oh god, this line reads awkward here. It's coming up.
And what do you mean by weaker
Not this one yet.
emotions?
Emotions that he didn't want them to feel.
Okay.
Like love.
I don't like that line read.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how you would do that line and make it sound.
Yeah, but that line's just kind of corny in general to weaken certain emotions.
Yeah. So
Like
it was
love. Like, okay, aphmau.
It's an
That's
inescapable situation.
like.
I will say
Ah.
the word love is one of those ones that is very hard to make to people take seriously in any way whatsoever.
Unless it's in a romantic connotation.
Yeah.
Like you're
yeah, yeah,
confessing your emotions to someone, like I love you or something, like something like that.
Yeah. I think the only time I've seen somebody pull off like saying the word love and have it come across the exact way with the most powerful way that's without in not romantic context is Richard Harris as Albus Dumbledore in the first Harry Potter movie. Because like right at the very end, it's like, what is you were protected by something that was more powerful than Voldemort could dare to be, or something along those lines. Like, well, what is that? Love, Harry. But like with like the kind old man expression, it kind of like all adds to it. I can't replicate it.
I mean, I guess saying the word love and having it be in a serious conversation only really works when it's like, I guess, being done in like a sincere, even quieter way. Because like honestly, like the whole love thing, I don't know, just it doesn't. It's very hard to make that work.
Yeah, it's been ruined by Moulin Rouge, if anything.
I haven't seen it.
I should show you the Nostalgia Critic review. I should show both of you Nostalgia Critic stuff, because I've been talking about like the Dante Basco thing and now this. Yeah. We should watch Nostalgia Critic together.
Honor.
Yes, exactly.
We need to find Aaron. We can figure out what to do about Caitlin and Garth after we find him.
I wouldn't know where to begin. This place is massive.
I like this transition.
This is the part that I always
There's
took
a
issue with.
strange energy resonating from everywhere. It's
Why?
looking at
Wait,
us.
what?
Well,
The
not
whole idea.
that part, like not the transition parts. That part with the muffled out audio and the filter, yes, I like that, but yeah,
Sense
not
where
this
we
bit.
are.
I'll show you.
At the very least, we know we need to
And
Oh,
here
this
we
is
go.
the Evelyn confirmation.
Yeah, Baruni, that's
Evelyn,
the
hurry!
one.
We don't have much time.
You'll be hearing that a lot on the Celestial Canon.
He's going to use it on Alina. Where do we need to go and how do we turn it
This
off?
is the ending of season 3 that we never got.
Interesting now that because last time I was sort of like trying to process the whole like, wait a minute, so it actually is her. I debunked this because it made no sense and now it's here. I hate this. And then I was like, I had a whole like reaction about that.
Okay, I
Now
don't hate
now
this.
that I'm analyzing the dialogue, saying like using it on Alina, I think at one point Michael did say that Irene at one point used the Celestial Cannon power or the Relic power on her own daughter, which sort of, now that we hear this context, maybe that
But
was...
I thought that was actual. I'm pretty sure that was actual Irene, not aphmau Irene.
Maybe, but if you hear it from this context, you could say maybe he was, trying to put the blame on her and rewrite history because he's the only one who remembers it. Which kind of diminishes the idea a bit of like how...
But we know Alina's
linked.
fine. We know Alina's fine by like this season alone. We just see a slightly older version of her.
Well, I mean, she's fine 900 years later. I don't know about at the time necessarily.
Well, she's not fine 900 years later. She's fine in the past because I think that's a time travel soul thing. It's like,
We'll get to that.
I don't know. Emmeline, please. We need to find her. I can't lose her too. Please, Emmeline. Emmeline. Ghost? Ghost? Ghost?
Nice trying to match up the parallels. I am not forgetting. Ironically enough, it was also episode 13 of a MyStreet season that debunked this idea of because we see Evelyn in that episode, the New Year's one.
Hey,
Ah,
hello? Are you okay?
well, I mean, if your fragments theory is true, I mean, it could just be maybe remember how Emmeline mentioned how when she did that she lost a part of her, or tried to bring back her husband, she lost a part of her. It could be the fact that quote unquote lost part of her was the part that got reincarnated into MyStreet Evelyn, and the remaining bits are
maybe, yeah.
this version of Emmeline. So that's why there's easily two Emmelyns, because one had to break her soul part, but it didn't work out, obviously.
Yeah. Maybe now is the time to finally release the corporeal fragments theory.
I mean, the aphmau community is kind of dead currently, unless aphmau brings
Are you
MyStreet very soon.
Yeah. Well, this is we're putting out that as of us streaming this and we're going to release it on the same day, there was a community post that seemed to imply that a project was going to be brought back
From the
this year.
past.
Yeah, from the past. So yeah, obviously the implication is that it's MyStreet, but I'm not going to get anyone's hopes up by saying that's definitive. It just says oh, there's a project. That could
I
be
would
anything.
say it's basically MyStreet, because she already said at Comic-Con that she does plan on having a final season of MyStreet. So unless she's talking about another project on top of MyStreet coming back.
Yeah, look, it's likely to be that. I just don't want to get people's hopes up unnecessarily.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's something at least to look forward to potentially.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even if it's Meteor Valley, I'm it's still something.
I mean, I wouldn't mind My Iron Demons back, because I think My Iron Demons is my favorite series of aphmau's, but I honestly think it's a good one, and I kind of want that to be resolved, the whole
Minor
cliffhanger.
Demons is, I think, in my opinion, the least likely one that it would be, just on the grounds of how much more mature it was in comparison to and in comparison to the current aphmau content, especially.
Well, even MyStreet season 6 is equally. I mean, I guess there isn't as any innuendo jokes in MyStreet.
Yes,
6.
when I'm saying mature, I mean that particularly. Yeah.
I mean, all you have to do is kind of cut down on those completely, and you're pretty much good.
I suppose, but then of course you're also saying oh yeah, this is season 2 of something. Oh, I better go check out season 1. I am.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it should be fine if people actually. Well, I kind of get it, but
yeah, that's why.
Well, if she puts it on the aphmau Stories channel, technically plausible deniability.
Yes,
it's on aphmau Stories,
But then again, Minor Demons season 1 is still on the main aphmau channel. Then again, the aphmau back catalog. If you go back far,
you can find videos for swearing. So I don't really think she's necessarily concerned about it. If she was really concerned about it, she would private all those videos. But I don't think she is going to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, mostly because she already did private a few videos, like the Honey Pop series that she did, like the Let's Play one. That's completely gone now. Yeah, most of the Mario Karts from back in the day. Yeah, the residuals there's ones left are some the odd Try Not to Laughs and other things for the aphmau swears era, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily find her swearing. You have to look into it a little bit, and you can find clips of it if you really wanted to.
The thing is that you also have to know that was a thing in the first place, and most of the community nowadays do not. Yeah.
I mean, if I was a little kid dedicated to my favorite dedicated to a YouTuber, I mean, I would look pretty much.
I would watch all 5,000 videos. I don't know how many.
Yeah, no, I probably would. No, what I do with YouTubers I like is I tend to generally deep dive into some older videos of theirs. I've watched some Orange Z-Size videos from 5 years ago. I don't tend to go much older, because then the quality starts to degrade rapidly, because oh god, these videos are so horrible. quality
the
wise.
same thing would happen for the current aphmau fan base.
Yeah, but they don't watch your content for the quality. Let's be honest.
Bold statement there. They watch it for what they consider to be quality, or what they're used to with the standard of Minecraft roleplays, and not Minecraft roleplays, Minecraft content. It's very different, and they wouldn't think necessarily to go back because they haven't, that's more of that. But again, if you give them My Demons, that will incentivize them, and then realize like, oh yeah, this is where we'll go back to this season 1 thing, because I happen to know that the season 2 must mean season 1 was there before, so I'll check this out. Don't know. But so yeah, it's unlikely to be that one. But yeah, honestly, any of the role plays, I'll take a episode 3 of Sassy Lawyer Chronicles.
It's staring off.
I've been here before. I think I know where they took Aaron.
What?
I've been
How?
here before.
Last time I was here, I was in that room. They took him to the room at the bottom of the cannon. The one with the giant crystal.
All right, let's think about this. If she knows where Aaron is, then you should head there as soon as possible. Ghost, can you take her?
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm going to.
Hold on, what was I saying?
Remember a room with a giant crystal. Maybe I can help.
Lucinda, I think I have an idea. Mind staying here to help with Caitlin? We'll need to keep that spell on her.
Was already a thought in my
I put
mind.
a spell on you, and now
Let's see how
you're.
strong.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that the whole close. No, it's just angled differently.
Miss Sugar Pea actually is.
Good.
I remember her calling her Sugar Pea, but for a little bit later.
Going to stay here with Kawaii-chan.
I just want to make sure he's safe.
With
I love that. Even in
no-
emergency situations, respect the privacy of the name. Very top tier of you, Zane.
What about you?
We'll be fine, aphmau. She needs to rest. Her wound is still recovering, and I want to make sure she's all right. Besides, Lucinda could use someone watching her back.
I'm sure I would be fine, but I do appreciate the offer.
I'm sure it'd be fine, even though I told I had aphmau restrain her before, when I clearly was not fine, but
What about Travis?
Traviska.
Lucinda just pulls like the from season 1 and summons him immediately. She already has like his signature locked into her like back catalog of magic, and that's how they defeat him. What's going on?
I mean, you wouldn't even. Well, I mean, would that? I guess you would trap. No, well, his body's also being taken over, so I think that would mess with his signature in general, even if that was a thing.
You would think that that a magic user could probably resist that if they knew it was going to happen, potentially. Then again, they also retconned that teleportation is a lot more of a struggle and takes more of a toll on Lucinda than it ever did in the past, so you never know.
I don't know. What can we do?
Oh, yeah, Emily, you were there for the Traviska episode, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first streams I ever joined.
What a great start. One of the worst MyStreet episodes. This is the funny happened to see. Oh dear.
Once we make sure we have everyone else safe, then we'll save him. We have to. All right. I trust you, Ghost. Let's go.
Gotta love these sweeping shots still.
I love the chisel and bits work on these sets. It's so good.
That as well. If there's one thing they really ramped up, it's the cinematography.
This
but
is the last
yeah,
time I'll ask. What is this place? Answer me!
I don't know.
Who is in charge?
I don't know.
What do
Tell
you
me,
know?
What are you doing here?
You are no longer my superior. You're with the enemy. You're a weak-minded.
I'm less
Waste.
weak-minded than you. You're actually mind controlled.
yeah, there is that. There, yeah.
Of time.
Wait, you know one thing I realized?
Hmm?
Toby's grandfather and like Toby's family line has purple eyes.
Yes, they explicitly state that.
You know who explicitly also has purple eyes?
Zach, I'm kidding. Go on.
Emmeline.
Okay.
I just realized that. Is that a connection between Emmeline and Toby?
It could be.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one thing. Again, it's still Minecraft, so you still got to cut away from the fighting shots, despite however impressive everything else gets.
Whoa, whoa. Let's not do anything rash now.
Why are you locked up?
To protect me from random people pointing rifles at me.
Yes, that is a great line. I don't want to leave my drink yet, but I'm gonna like hold it up just for that. There we go.
you can see you still want to get her soul sucked out eventually.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's a good leave my drink moment. We'll get to it later. Don't worry about it.
Guy. Sounds like you haven't been changed like them. Who are you?
Just an old vet. I'm not with them.
I bet she took care of animals.
Yes, everyone thought of this one. In fact, I think you might have made the same joke 5 years ago. I forget now. I haven't seen your review in a while. I love how the GFs have not updated the uniform in like 100 years.
It hasn't been 100 years. It's been 20. Young Derek. What do you mean, like 100?
According to a previous episode, the last Ultima Rampage was 100 years ago.
Well, that must have been.
Don't ask me.
That must have been a different Ultima Rampage because clearly Derek's not 100 years old.
No, Derek wouldn't be 100 years.
Well, Derek would be over 100 years old because he's a child here.
Hey, look, I don't make the rules here.
And there's his brother. There's his brother over there.
Yeah,
that we all have. Well, we've talked about him a few times.
I did point that out, by the way, about like the 100 years thing. And also, now I think I mentioned the brother actually looks a lot more like Aaron. Which I mean, naturally that can happen, but it kind of feels like maybe they remodeled an Aaron skin and shrunk it down, potentially. But also, yeah, imagine how old that must make Aidan and I if this whole 100 years thing. And the full moon, nice detail. Yeah, for these kind of shots where you get like the high angle and the low angle, it's usually done to imply who has the power in any given scene.
Who has power?
Yeah, that's why it's a little that's why it's a little jarring when you think about the fact that to make this shot actually be realistic, the guard would have to be like 6.5 feet tall. But
he was on a car. He was literally standing on a car.
That's the technique, by the way, pushing the person further up in order to actually do that. Insert Goku versus Vegeta comparison here.
Your eyes.
They'll be the last thing you see if you don't start
Dang.
getting answers.
Dang, violent much?
He's had a long day.
Someone I once met. You're one of Marcio's boys.
I mean, bold guess, I suppose, but if we're to take at face value the fact that only certain people have purple eyes in this reality, which by the way they don't, Sasha has them too, then yeah, it'd have to be connecting.
I mean, maybe he notices like the hair color and the skin tone comparison.
But he only mentioned the eyes.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Listen,
Going-
I'm just trying to make sense. I'm trying to make
Harry
sense out of
Potter
the
logic
madness.
here. You have your grandfather's eyes.
That was the name of my grandfather.
He was with the Guardian forces, and judging
Wait,
by
what?
the
Pew,
way
pew.
you hold that rifle, I'd say you followed in his footsteps.
Who are you?
My name
I'm
is
your
Rowan
grandfather.
Eisen.
Oh, he actually he gave his actual name rather than just
Rowan.
being Agent R. Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's not under the context of a professional sense.
I suppose, but I feel like if you're held captive at the enemy, you'd probably be trained not to give your name immediately.
Like I said, I'm a retired vet. The Guardian
Veterinarian,
forces brought me
man.
here
What
with
animals have you treated?
Uh,
I can't help but make the joke.
did I say 5 years? I meant 5 minutes.
Derek Lycan.
Lycan?
If you're here, then I imagine you already have some vague understanding of what's going on.
Honestly,
what?
not really. No one talks to me.
No,
Hmm.
I'm just kind of here. I just want to shoot the Ultima. That's all I want to do.
Well, then I probably shouldn't tell you anything. Goodbye.
Even if that's true, I cannot let you leave.
Tell me, what do you think is going on out there?
Well, you see, evil
Something is
demons mind controlling people to turn everyone to relics.
Yeah. Also,
The normal
also what an amazing like fatherly tactic right there to be like, what do you think is going on? Just to make the person like really. Reflect. That's one good way to make like, particularly kids reflect, but anyone it works on.
Controlling the rest of the Guardian forces, and they're being used to operate this place. I intend to find out who's doing this.
So determined. Tell me, kid, what's your rank?
Captain.
What? You were in command of all of them?
And you let them get control, you coward or idiot. Dang.
Wow.
You suck at your job. You just let all your men get mind controlled and you didn't even notice. Like, dang. Took you this long? Like,
Then you already know who it is.
What do you mean?
Derek has been hiding his family for his entire life. Do you really
What?
think
Okay,
this-
so this is the thing about MyStreet Season 6 at times that annoys me. They never just get straight to the point. They always talk around things or talk about larger things at play or like talk around things. Like just get cut to the point and then bring up this stuff. Don't bring up a point, talk about something else and cut back to it, then go back to that topic. Structurally that makes your talking not work as well.
Just as a way to demonstrate what Aidan is saying, Emily, do you know who is currently in charge of the Guardian forces and has controlled them, based on what you just heard? Exactly. It doesn't help anyone.
Slipped up one day, and that's why you're here. You and your battalion were brought here on purpose. This place
Well, yeah, most times their battalions deployed somewhere they're brought on purpose.
is why you're here, and the same for us. The Guardian forces and the Lycans were manipulated by the same man.
Michael.
This device.
Yes.
There we are.
Go pew pew, Michael.
People into objects of power.
Called relics.
They called them relics. Derek has already been turned into one, and Michael intends to turn Aaron into a relic as well.
I heard the reports. Why should I care if that monster is removed from the face of this earth? He's already
Yes, let's get let's give another evil being ultimate power. God, I know you're angry, but like, dang, you don't have to be stupid.
Yeah, if it weren't for the objects of power thing, this line would make perfect sense. Because again, he doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's already been established. Rowan just said like they give you power. It's like, oh yeah, I don't care if Aaron gets turned into a relic. Yeah, I don't care if a madman gets ultimate power. You know, as long as Aaron's dead, it's like, okay, but like, no.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even mean to turn that on.
Well,
Magic.
Magic.
I
Yeah.
didn't even know how I did that.
Many
But okay.
innocent people. His entire family deserves this.
What?
I've known the Lycans
Dang.
for longer than you've been alive. This would have never happened if the Guardian forces weren't hunting
People
Derek and
died. Well, yeah, because you provoked them.
Hmm.
That's like punching someone in the face and then them punching you in the face and then it hurting you severely and then being like, "Oh my god, he hurt me. How could he?" It's like, okay.
Yeah. Also,
but-
also again, he just mentioned the Guardian forces were brought under false pretenses, which they were. Saying this would never happen if the Guardian forces weren't here. Not true, because most of the actual rage that triggered the transformation was brought on by Michael and Ian specifically. That technically could have happened without the Guardian forces, just would not have been such a public thing. Nor would have been able to subdue him that easily.
Well, it needed to be public. And not to mention, I don't think it would have been as bad, especially because, like, at the very least, Melissa would still be alive, as well as Rachel, because they wouldn't be. Well, Melissa's alive, but no.
Okay, but what he's referring to as far as like this is more like the damage that the Ultima has caused.
Yeah, it's just like, well, yeah, but like, listen, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't when you push someone into a corner and they bite you, it's not. You can't be like, how dare you bite me, even though I actively pushed you in a corner.
Yeah. Well, then again, as far as the ultimate plan goes, technically speaking, Michael could have found some other way. Potentially, if there could have been like even a private section of the island that Ian happened to be in or something, because Ian was the bait at that point. Suddenly they trigger the transformation within him. Subdue him privately, potentially by yourself, considering how much power the Demon Warlock actually even has to begin with or without the relic. Maybe get Gareth and Caitlin involved if they weren't Guardian forces anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. This technically would have worked without the Guardian forces. They're just an extra addition on top of it to make things go a bit more smoothly. But they're not the cause of anything.
From us, they're dangerous to everyone.
Other than the stuff that happened to Melissa and the other things not related to the Ultimate specifically.
Why? Because of the sin of Derek's father?
I like how he's confident enough to move now because he knows when
shoot me.
Fire at him. Yeah.
Shoot me. You can point your gun, it won't work. Haha.
Thing they never did.
And look what happened.
That's because you killed his entire family before his eyes. What would you?
No, you didn't.
Well,
neither of those things happened before his eyes. What do you mean?
Well, basically killed him literally, no, like, keep in mind, all this happened in the course of like a day. I'm not even joking. Like, all this happened in a literal day. They got raided. They went on the run. So Aaron had to deal with Melissa's death. And then he found out over a news broadcast that the Guardian forces killed his mom because she went on a rampage allegedly.
Yeah,
and then he just to have to find out that Ian mind controlled the whole camp, and then to run to go save aphmau, just to have aphmau watch him die in front of him, just for him to bring her back, to have her just pass away, not being able to save her, and just have Ian be out there. So he took the werewolf and sword and
I know the time frame that it happened. That's not the point. What I was saying is that a lot of that did not happen before his eyes. The aphmau thing did. You're right about that.
But I mean, I guess some of these lines aren't meant to be taken 100% literally. But it was basically all in front of him. Like, it all just happened.
Now that I think about it, Rowan didn't see either of those things happen, so he might have assumed they happened before his eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, like, in the case of it all happened in quick succession, it ultimately is attributed to Ian, yes, but it's also attributed very much to the Guardian forces, because keep in mind, Aaron didn't know about the whole Michael thing. I don't even think he knew about it when he got beamed up. I don't think he cared at that point. He didn't know about
he knew that Michael was somehow involved when he got beamed up, because that's when Michael appeared for himself, did the whole "we are both cursed souls" thing, etc.
Yeah.
At that stage, yes.
But like, for most of it, he didn't even know about Michael. He just saw the Guardian forces and Ian killing everyone he loved, right? But to him, and so you push a person too far within a day. within a freaking day. It all happened within one day.
Yeah, this is like the morning after what we have right now.
In less than a day.
There you go.
What? We didn't.
You
Yes,
were there when Melissa got shot. I mean,
okay, but also remember the reveal
still.
at the end of at the end of the series.
Yeah,
I can
but
see
like
why he would say that.
Well, I mean, I honestly don't think he thought about their
Sir.
actions at all.
She was unarmed. We're supposed to take them alive.
Sir, he's getting away.
Forget him. Get the paramedic.
Forget Aaron Lycan. Sir, he's the reason we're here.
They don't care. Yeah, we shot a woman who gave herself up. But Aaron, you shot a woman. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You're not even like, oh, we can't do it. Like, also, he's your commander. Why aren't you respecting him?
Yeah, there's also I'm no military strategist. I know military strategist, but couldn't one person get a paramedic and the rest continue the chase?
I guess.
My orders.
Yeah, she got pew-pewed.
Yeah.
She got pew-pewed.
Yeah. Honestly, up until this point, it was actually debatable whether or not the shooting actually even happened in the first place because we saw the only thing we saw was like the bullets go through like the walls that were like that were next to her. And I think there were same amounts that were matched. The number of holes there were the same amount of like shots that we heard on the other side. It was said to me that maybe they were gearing up for a little bit of subterfuge, a little bit of a deception. And then we saw this scene was like, yeah, no, she's dead.
No, well, in the case of they literally couldn't show Melissa getting shot because how would that even look visually in Minecraft?
If I were doing this, I would have said that would most likely be one of the first animations back when the team was still there.
But how would you show a Minecraft have bullets passing through a Minecraft character? Because then you would have to make a model in a way where you have holes that the bullets could go through and make
off the top of my head. What I would do is create the different skins for each of the models, each with like the different bullets, and then have the NPC next to the wall, have the shot on the NPC specifically, wherever the marks are going to appear, and then cycle through those in editing in the exact same shot. Don't move the camera, just change the model, cut out the parts in between, and pace it appropriately.
But the thing is, seeing it would have made it look actually wonky. Like, I honestly think seeing that visual would have made like the whole shooting look wonky, and then you'd have people like making jokes about it or making fun of the scene because like, haha, it looks weird the way they show it. Haha, it looks strange, and it's like, okay, but that takes away from the moment, you know?
Maybe, but considering the aphmau fan base at the time, most of them would have still been in shock.
They would have been
sad. On one hand, I might have been like, "Oh, I'm shocked they're doing this," but also it looks ridiculous. That's sort of how I was reviewing.
I mean,
most
like
people,
listen,
not really.
Listen, if you can't show something well, find a way around it. You know,
from watching other aphmau reviewers around the same time that you know I and then we were doing them, most of them did not review them the way that we do.
Yeah, no, but I think it was a good idea not showing it because again,
Yeah.
it just would have been
Cover
worse.
and Moon Tea.
Breathe.
Specifically.
Please.
I don't know. Depends on if her lungs got shot. I'm gonna be honest. She's kind of bleeding out currently.
Yes. See that's another thing.
Who killed who first? What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. It doesn't matter what she is. You still shot her in front of Aaron.
Yeah,
That doesn't matter. Like, honestly, it doesn't even matter if she's alive at the end of the day. You still shot her in front of her brother. What? It's like you still shot her. Like, regardless, someone got shot.
Yeah, and now looking back at that line, you know, at least they seem to imply that something was gonna happen here.
Yeah. No, I do definitely think aphmau was always planning that, but I think it would have been more interesting if she actually was dead.
Oh no, same here. When I got to that final episode, I had a whole that was like my last big that was my last big. I say freakouts, but I wasn't really. I was kind of like more subdued at the time because most times we're viewing these things late at night. Wasn't accustomed to it yet. So yeah, it's kind of like going, excuse me, I am not projecting right now, but if I could, that kind of thing. That was my last time doing that.
Wait, so she's not dead?
Yes, she isn't dead. Which is a reveal later.
What was the bloody point of all that then?
To torture. Well, the point was to torture Aaron. I think the point still stands that is to torture and mentally break down Aaron. Regardless if she's dead or alive, that part necessarily doesn't matter because as long as Aaron thinks she's dead, that's all that matters. As long as Aaron's in pain, that's all that matters. And that's the ultimate plan. Cause as much pain and mental destruction for Aaron as possible. So he'll get angry enough to go on a rampage, put a bunch of people in front of him when he does said rampage, have a lot of people be hurt, cause a lot of pain and even more pain and agony for Aaron, capture Aaron, use him to make a powerful relic.
That's why I was going to do the Rachel's alive theory from way back in the day. I never published this one.
I would have did Rachel, but have Rachel be alive, but
Yeah, no, I mean like the theory because there's a whole point in an earlier episode about how they're preparing certain footage and it's about to go out. There's a whole segment with Michael specifically. You know, they prepared everything. And then suddenly, lo and behold, there's a broadcast that goes out to everyone. That same episode that talks about how Rachel's dead with no visuals.
In the case of that scene, they said have it playing on every TV in the house. They're editing the footage down as we speak. They didn't say they're editing the yeah, but they specified editing the
live broadcast.
Down.
That's the thing. Live broadcasts by nature aren't usually edited, so if they're saying that to edit the footage, that's how the theory comes from.
In the case of it, I think they edited the footage. That line was saying they were editing the footage down to just be that one segment that they would repeat it, play on repeat to every TV in the house.
Why would that take a long time? That's 2 cuts in an editing software. We know this, and
I don't know,
obviously knows that too.
But that's what they were doing, and that's what that line was meant to imply and meant to do.
I mean, you say that. The reason it was a theory is because, again, there was you very much gear up towards that, and it seems like aphmau is not against dropping hints about characters surviving, except Blaze. Poor Blaze.
Well, I mean, I just kind of wish we actually got a proper death scene, or maybe not a death scene, or something leading up to what her death would have been. Maybe we get to see her running, maybe the Guardian forces let her go and tell her to run or something like that.
If we're still talking about Rachel right now, again, there may have not been nothing to lead up to at that point. If we're talking about Melissa, then you just mentioned how not seeing that was more beneficial.
No, but I mean, we actually got to see a lead up to what having her get shot versus getting to see the lead up to what happened. Maybe the way.
Again, if there's something to lead up to.
Yeah, no. Well, she's dead. That's what aphmau said. She is dead.
When did aphmau say that? I don't remember this.
I'm pretty sure aphmau stated that she's meant to be dead. Or the whole series pretty much says she's meant to be dead, and bringing her back wouldn't make much sense at this point.
I don't recall that.
She is dead. She is dead. Jacob, stop saying she's alive. She's actually meant to be dead, even though I think it's stupid. That doesn't change just because I think something stupid doesn't change the fact that it happened. Okay.
No, but just because you're saying something, I remember the lead up to it or the evidence for it. I don't know what you're referring to whenever aphmau said anything.
If she was really alive, wouldn't you think they would have mentioned her in the finale?
No, because they were gearing up for another season in the first place anyway. So,
but
honestly,
why wouldn't the mom be with everyone in the hotel, or why wouldn't the mom be with Aaron?
Why indeed? We might have found that out at some other point.
My God, Jacob, listen to me. I'm sorry to say this. The way the story is set up, she's meant to be dead. She is dead.
You can say that all that you want, and I understand why.
And the way Melissa's talking, Melissa's not talking oh, I can't wait to see mom again. It's Toby literally said your parents gave everything to keep you and Aaron safe.
Okay, at that
So,
point, maybe. Again, we'll
they're
get that.
meant to be dead, even though I think it's stupid. But if, again, with the idea of them being dead, with Rachel being dead, what I would have done personally,
Yeah,
is had a scene where basically the Guardian forces are like in an alleyway of her, and they're like, and they have her chained up, and they're like, go, and they tell her to go, under maybe like pretending like they're letting her go, and it's like, and then or maybe she questions it, and then maybe one of them shoots her, maybe shoots the floor, and is like go, and then she like runs, and then like she's like running through the thing, and everyone is like going, there she is, and then you have some other Guardian forces pull up in a car, and then aim their gun at her, and it's like, and then they're shooting at her with no questions asked, and then they shoot her in public, because like that way it makes it look like she went on, quote unquote, went on a rampage, and she's running from the Guardian forces.
that was what the news reports said happened.
Yeah. No, but like that way you could easily that way you could have her death somewhat build up to the moment where her death played out, and then maybe you hear a gun, and then you cut up close up on a guy, and then you hear, and then scene cuts.
If anything, that could also have been replayed later as part of the broadcast that made it out.
Yeah.
Another reason why, especially at the time, I thought that they were lying about it, because you know, if they had the footage, then they would have used that and they edited that as part of it. But again, we don't actually know. Again, I mentioned this as like, this was one of the theories that I had planned at the time, and even to this point, I still somewhat stand by it, despite the parents gave everything lying, because we've had other lines like, "Oh yeah, you know, sacrifice one child and not the other," that were not what we thought they were in the first place. So who knows?
Well, in that case, that's just aphmau making a right decision, but then going back and then trying to collectively gaslight someone, saying it was a red herring. That's not what we meant.
Which may or may not have also been applied to the Emmeline thing, because again, there's a lot of that. There's more against that than there was for it, which is why I made a whole video.
I mean, I get it, but also I do think it could have, like, I mean, I'm personally fine with it, but like, I also do think it could have been better played out.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying to you about the Rachel thing. I get why you're saying the things as well, but the way that things are left so vague, there's still
but it's not left vague enough where it's like, let's all go home. Like, again, Toby also said to her, "You're all he has left."
Yeah,
that's not really playing out. Hey, your mom's there too.
The question at that point would be, well, I mean, A, that's a lie anyway, because of the fact that he knows everyone else has survived in Aaron's life. But
well,
B,
family-wise,
it also depends.
You're all the family he has left.
It also depends on whether or not Toby even knows what happened after he went rogue from the Guardian forces. I think at that point he was already separated from them.
Well, yeah, but like, he would find out all this stuff in retrospect. Like, I mean, they could easily, like, I mean, if she was killed publicly because she quote unquote went on a rampage, there would be full-on footage of her getting shot or something, or like maybe phone recordings or something.
That's what I was saying before. That's why I said the lack of footage means that there's a possibility that it didn't happen.
That was I think it was the case of aphmau just didn't want to do the visual or feel like doing the visual.
Okay, but that's also a supposition. And that's the thing that you've been telling me not to do this whole time.
Well, okay, I say not to do that, but I mean, when
don't
people
do as I say.
No, but when people do that, I am able to somewhat understand that they did that. Like, that very much aphmau did that. Like, plus that was in episode 8. Do you know the amount of stress aphmau was dealing with at the time? I wouldn't be surprised if she took a few shortcuts in regards to Rachel and her death in that moment, because that was during period episode 8, and like aphmau probably just wanted to get the episode out at that point. So she's like,
maybe, but on the flip side of things, we're talking about a person who went from going from the pressure of trying to release an episode every 2 days to suddenly dealing with the extensive the quality and therefore was willing now at this point to take month-long breaks, even despite the fact she kept apologizing for those things. Because of the fan base at the time, we all reassured her that was okay with us, but she still felt that, but she still did not want to compromise the actual vision. So again,
I mean, like, sometimes don't you ever feel like you kind of take shortcuts with the Mutant Girl sometimes just to get it out or get it done?
Only when there's a time crunch. Only when there's an actual deadline that I've got to get to, like for the remake. I had like other ideas for the most recent remake of trying to leave like footprints in the sand or something like that, but that at that point I just said, okay, this is one of the things I can't do because it's going to have to come out in a few days. In the case of aphmau, where there was no deadline, then no, I wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't have
Well,
done
in the case of it, it was more of a self-imposed deadline to actually get it done, which, you know, I feel like we all kind of do, regardless.
Well, the thing with MyStreet was that at this point there was no self-imposed deadline anymore because by this point all scheduling had been thrown out the window.
Well, yeah, it's not scheduled, but it's like herself being like, "I need to get this done."
I know she decides the schedule for whichever reason.
Yeah, so
and so
that's
it's up to
why.
her to change that or to remove it entirely, which is what
But
happened.
very much, Rachel is pretty much meant to be 100% dead. Clearly Rachel would have been somewhat in the series, like in the series finale, season finale especially. Rachel would have at the very least made an appearance.
Yeah, that may have been the reason why I eventually did not go through with that theory at the time and never released it. It may not have been.
Plus, at least having Rachel dead adds more consequences to this season.
Well, yeah,
even more.
They cheapened out on the consequences.
They cheapened out on Melissa's death. So at the very least, I would, if the main intention was Rachel is dead, leave Rachel dead.
Isn't that all? But does that, for a narrative point, doesn't that also kind of weaken things? Was like, oh yeah, we built up to this one death that we faked it out, much like the other two deaths that we saw before this, and then we got one built up death in the form of Blaze, and then another one that was off screen with Rachel, and that's what you take away from this series.
No, we have a built up death in the form of Derek too.
Okay, yes, all right. So I guess 2 out of 3 versus the other 3 that were fake outs. So it's a 50-50. Alleviating there. It's like that feels wrong somehow as far as the
I mean, I'm personally not a fan of like the way they, again, if they're gonna do Rachel's death, do it right. But it happened. In aphmau just didn't do it well. So you know what? Whatever. It's a thing.
We'll see.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You would think my God, stop holding out hope, Jacob, please. It makes no sense.
I'm not saying about that. So you think that if there's any part that aphmau would not cut corners from, it's the one where it's being memed about doing things about the having everyone die. You think that would be the point where the focus would go again, depending on the narrative importance. And that's true whether or not the Rachel thing was actually true or not. It works in either situation.
With hunting Aaron, that you failed to realize the real monster right in front of you. We can still do something. Michael is somewhere here.
Fine, let's go.
My little boy got anger issues over here.
I think we should.
Is someone else here with you?
Not that I know of.
Oh, you didn't know your cellmate?
Well, he was talking to Derek the whole time.
He's bleeding.
Yeah. Surprised he's not dead.
Nah, this guy's got the real plot armor.
Oh, he dies too. He gets thrown.
He's
also another death in this season. He gets thrown off the cannon.
Ah, okay. We reached the 3 then.
He plans to activate it. It will take everyone.
What is he talking about?
Anyone.
The cliffhanger.
The cannon.
We're halfway through the episode, so I don't know about that.
Calm down. Control your breathing. Explain what you're talking about.
The celestial cannon. Its purpose is to protect the world from celestial objects that would threaten it. But it needs power in order to operate. Its power relies on the souls of every living being below the cannon. It uses souls to cultivate them into a greater essence. It transforms them into power.
Wait, does that...
Every soul below will be pulled in. We need to stop that demon here and now.
And yeah, that would be a good cliffhanger, but we're halfway through.
Well, no, the cliffhanger.
He's
Oh.
gonna turn into a sexy girl right now. Hot twist! I was Aaron all along. And you
There we go.
Oh my god, it's like some of her newer videos where she's the ultimate.
Yeah, you know what? That's true.
Oh, forgot about it.
Ears and plus.
I refuse to get the Aaron hoodie ever.
Also, you could tell she's plugging it during some shots.
What do you mean you tell she's plugging it? This
Pregnant.
Oh, okay. All right.
You could tell she's pregnant during some shots. You don't really get to see much, but like I see a little babe bump. See the babe bump.
Out so you can make out.
I don't want this. No.
Oh
And
god.
just a note, a serious note. And once
Just covering the mouth now, yeah.
they are sold out for good, meaning that we will never have them in the shop ever again. Anyway, be sure to check it out in the description down below. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Bye.
Those are the parts that she hates most of all. When she watched...
I get it. Listen,
Yeah.
no, not my face.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm looking at my face now. No!
That's that community post we talked about from like a week ago. That was
That's one of the first times we get to see her face in years.
yeah, because most of that community post was mostly like, "Hey, it's me. I'm Jess the Human" or something like that. I think she just calls herself Jess the Human, surprisingly. But anyway,
I mean, why I think that post means a lot more to me personally is just because that post, since one, she introduced herself as Jess and we actually see her face.
yeah,
Unlike the art, which is of her character and stuff like that, that's always just promoting merch. It's more or less also her being like, I guess, feeling like more of a person and like presenting herself more as a person and less as a, I guess, less as a character.
that's kind of what I think about the VidCon stream as well. Because even though she does kind of lean into that a little bit, but mostly for like the skits that they were doing, like the mock trial or whatever, you can still very much tell, and that's probably why the MyStreet question was asked there, because Sonny was like, okay, I'm being more myself now than I have been for quite some time. I wonder if she kind of feels that in a sense that
Oh no, I definitely
after
think she
all of
feels
this
that.
after all of this time, that's but most of her viewership of nowadays came from after she stopped after she
Being
stopped having
herself.
that, yes, in a sense, or at least being not a caricature version of herself. That can't be good for a person. I think.
Oh no,
my
like I
opinion
mean,
on that at some point.
aphmau's mentioned a few times that she's like mental health struggles, and I don't imagine that's great on her mental
Yeah,
health.
she mentioned that
Like,
during this era as well.
Yeah, like if people like her for being a caricature of herself, not for her real self. Which yeah, she's more popular than ever, but it's not like they like her for her. They like her for what she presents herself as.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things about the previous aphmau era, was the fact that, I mean, it was different between obviously the very much in character roleplay moments, even though the character most of the times was self-inserts and therefore based on her to some degree. But even then, you still get that. But then you also have like the offhand videos, like the Minecraft mini games, where they became like other games, or and how it alternate between like the voice actors also improvising as them staying in character or as themselves. There was that variation there, mostly done to pad out in between different times to have daily uploads and stay relevant. But it still worked in that way, and that was kind of something that was kind of the charm of it, I think. Because if anything, like one of the reasons that I've adored MyStreet so much is because you saw the human element behind it. Very much you saw that it was made by, but at one point, very few people and one person at the helm really just kind of trying to tell the story the way that they wanted to, but then also, you know, have it be attached to them themselves. Like that, having it's the indie feel, the one that people tend to associate nowadays with the big animated projects that get mentioned all the time. You know, yeah, and that was very much one of the things that was present here. This is kind of like, you know, the previous version of that before the animation scene on YouTube even allowed that kind of thing in the first place. But yeah, somewhere along the way, that became no longer the case. And again, I feel like at this point, we're going to get nostalgic to it because we're almost done with 5 years later at this point. If we get to End of Phoenix Drop Days, that's a solid. That's a solid literal 5 years since that era to some extent.
I mean, my theory behind it is once the role plays start, they're not gonna stop, or at least 100%. Because like what I personally think, if she does whenever she does get around to this stuff like role plays, like yeah, she may make another season of MyStreet, but then she may realize the kind of enjoyment she has with those kind of stories. So she's either gonna find another creative outlet for it, like a book or like starting to write books. Or she's going to continue to make role plays, but it's not going to be a constant basis. Like maybe like she'll maybe take a month or two break to like work on a series like writing wise, but then go into production.
It's going to be dependent on one thing, which is how
viewership and money.
Yes, but the viewership particularly, because with the viewership will come the money. Because I mean, I feel like by this point, aphmau's family-friendly image is not going to affect motivation too much in that regard. But yes, so like they consider like even back in the day, how many role players were cancelled due to the relatively poor viewership in comparison to MyStreet, and how that seems to be like, well, nothing seems to hold account to that. Nowadays, of course, the bar is set so much higher. Will aphmau consider the viewership of the videos based on how the other ones perform at this point, or will she then or will she keep that going because that's an outlet that she hasn't had for some time? And getting back to that, you know, feels good, and it feels like maybe now that, you know, we're not. Did she stop now? The reason that she stopped in the first place was because, you know, COVID restrictions has been lifted. Now she might be able to return to that, but, you know, be able to even increase the scope much further. I don't actually know, but it will depend on like how the current community responds, and if the nostalgia community, you know, returns as well, and they're even aware that something is still happening.
Actually, I probably think the newer community would actually respond really well to like the role plays.
Me too, but again, well, I see that depends. If they're as dramatic as this, maybe not. If they're like the classic era with you know, like
well, I think if they were,
probably.
if they were season 5 tonally, I think the viewers would respond really well to it. Like goofy, but also can be serious drama. Like I do think, or maybe like something along the lines of like the side stories that were released during this era.
Yeah, I think I think either side stories era, like goofy and dramatic, or just goofy. Any of those would probably work. If it's just dramatic, probably not.
Well, yeah, I don't think a season 6 would go as well, but like a season 5 would go really well. But even then, if you hook people in enough, like with some goofy funness, but then go into like a darker, more serious story, I think the viewers will stick around because a lot of MyStreet viewers did stick around for.
Yeah, if we're going by the pattern, MyStreets that started from season 3, we had lighthearted, dark, lighthearted, dark, and we're due with something more lighthearted that also has the aftermath involved. So yeah, you're most likely right that we are due a season 5 of some sort. Not in this setting, obviously, because by law they need to.
It would. They most likely get back to the street, have some classic stuff related to that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also with aphmau's, like with the amount of money aphmau's been making recently, honestly, I think the budget for each episode could go up, but not to mention though, I don't think aphmau would be as stressed with money, especially with the amount of people on her merch store. You know, buying stuff from her merch store constantly. Like, I think she would actually get a lot of money, even just making 1 or 2 merch pieces based off MyStreet alone. Like, people who buy aphmau merch would just buy that merch as well.
I wonder about the fandom as well, actually, because I think I mentioned this some other stream recently, but the difference between the community nowadays and the other ones, that yes, there's more of them, now. But to my knowledge, they don't produce as much, derivative fan
works.
content. Yes, like the fan works that were kind of, the blood and stone of of the early MyStreet community that very much influenced the production of the show, especially when talking about the shipping fuel that was implemented.
Well, in the case of the fandom, though, I think as soon as roleplays do start up, the fandom's gonna kick up, like gonna immediately come back to life.
Again, I hope so. It's just the case of there is different people now that aren't immediately accustomed to it. So would that happen and how quickly? That's another factor to consider.
This entire situation is a complete mess. Years of planning foiled when you decided to try and be a father. So
See, the one person who calls Derek out for being a bad father is the antagonist. Okay, he's still not wrong.
Oh god, I hate when the antagonist says a bunch of true stuff, but then the writer is like, no, you're not supposed to agree with the antagonist when they say all that true stuff. It's like, but it was true. It's like, no, but they're just mocking them. They're just being mean to them. They didn't actually mean it. They're not actually right. Yes, they are. Why are you saying that?
That's why I said before, like when I mentioned the Irene, not being a saint thing that that Michael is preaching. At the time it sounded like he was being sincere and justified because he's the only person who would know the difference. But based on that line from Zane from earlier, you could say that they were trying to make it seem like he was lying the whole time. It doesn't come across that way.
It's one of those
again,
things where
based on
Irene,
vagueness,
I think it's
of the
playing
writing.
into like a trope that playing into an aspect of Irene that aphmau, ever since like Diary season 3 was playing up the whole like morally gray Irene aspect of Irene's actual past.
Yeah,
that they're playing more into, because like that's like Chad's whole motivation was to get back Irene for something he like did to like their daughter or something.
Look, that's what I always interpreted it as before. The line from Zane that I missed the first time because I was reacting to the fact that I forgot what we're reacting to now, actually. Whatever I mentioned at the start of this stream. The Emmeline twist. Yeah. Because the Emmeline twist, I didn't focus on it so much, but the Zane line very much seems to implies that Michael could have made the whole thing up to try and discredit Irene to the people who are trying to fight against him, to say like, oh, you know what, he's right, okay. Not that it would have worked, and not that it seemed to be a particularly effective strategy, but considering the vagueness of the writing that we've been talking about this entire episode, that could have been the underlying intention that was never fully developed, and may have been part of the season that didn't happen.
No matter. It just seems like I'll have to do things the hard way.
I like the effect of this relic, though. I mean, that's obviously a lens flare in post-production. I mean, the rest of it.
Yeah, the fire.
It doesn't matter how hard you fight it. I will make you obey.
Oh yeah, of course it's still in there because of the whole way it works.
Sir, the damaged sections have repaired themselves and preparations have been completed.
What, the damaged sections repaired themselves?
This is a magical sanctuary, so maybe that's how it worked.
I didn't know the building was that powerful. Well, does that mean in another few thousand years, though, that the island may actually fully repair itself from the end of the season, so we may actually have the fully operational one, like 1,000 or 2 years?
I don't think it would take 1,000 years to repair itself, but that might be when it's set. I don't know.
Are you sure you will be able to withstand?
I wouldn't have been able to before. But now...
Yeah. Also, by the way, earlier you said that Michael was powerful. I don't think he was. Michael was actually that powerful before. The thing about Michael as a villain is Michael is smart, and Michael has the ability to magically influence people that aren't cursed souls.
Yeah, well,
but with the context of a relic, he's a lot more powerful. Like the only reason why
I know he's more powerful. I meant that he had a decent starting point. Not that this made no difference. It clearly did.
Yeah,
But
it made a
again,
huge
go from being powerful to being powerful still.
Not really powerful. It's just using what you have.
Yes, which in his case was a lot.
Just mind control. I mean, which is
it's just mind control of an entire army of people and
well, the
people
only way he
possible.
wasn't able to, but he has to mind control people when touching them in the way, and like he had to get them in one by one. He couldn't just, he had to be smart with his. It may be limited, but he still has to be smart with his strategy, with how he does
I understand that. I understand that. I'm still saying, I'm just not denying the fact that you have it. That takes power to do as well as intelligence.
Yeah, because like on his own, he wouldn't win a fight. He would be wrecked instantly.
Yeah. Again, without the Guardian Forces, you're referencing the fact that I said the Guardian Forces were not necessary, but they were a good addition.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the case of without the Guardian Forces, he still would have had Gareth and Caden at this point. Maybe he would not have taken Aaron on head on himself at this point. The reveal still would have happened when it did, because by that point he was already restrained. But again, he had enough resources even without the Guardian Forces, but also having the Guardian Forces, that's nothing to scoff at. If you can have, if you can have the Guardian Forces too, bring the Guardian Forces.
The Guardian Forces will gun down everyone.
Activate the Aether color ray.
Well,
the Aether color ray.
Yeah, I think it's like ether, like ATHER.
Beep. Oh.
Ready at your command.
Traviska!
Is that a yes, sir? We can't tell. Good grief, that face. That's one thing that MyStreet never stopped being goofy with, was the faces. I heard the start of that, sir. Do we press the button? My finger is hovering over it precariously right now.
Sir, are you ready?
Finger is on the button. Push the button.
Is everything okay? I won't let you hurt anyone else.
Fighting for mental control.
Forget your place.
No,
That's
bitch.
not it.
No,
I
bitch.
believe what you meant to say was, you forget your place.
Leviosa.
Won't hurt anyone else.
Ooh, that was a moonwalk turn right there.
Well, I mean, yeah.
His name is Michael. It works because he's
Michael. Well, we don't know Michael's last name though. Michael Jackson reveal.
It's probably Valkyrie, but yeah. If anyone's a smooth criminal, it's him.
Pathetic.
Fight.
Of your interruptions.
Fight.
When is the last time he interrupted you?
Don't you see? There is absolutely nothing you can do. Your consciousness belongs to me.
I do what
See,
I want.
this is another thing. You mentioned before that there's some of the scenes like drag on a bit dialogue wise. The other problem is the voice actors dragging out every single line so that it takes up even more. Yes, it is very dramatic and occasionally works, but when the scene is already unnecessary, one can grow weary of having to hear it.
I like that.
I don't care. I won't give up.
Depends. See? Nice and fast.
He's just gone catatonic at the cannon.
Yeah. Honestly, they should have fired at this point. I was about to say it. Clearly, he should. Anyway.
Well, to be fair, they don't know if he's hurt or maybe fell off the cannon or something happened to his body, so he may not even physically be there anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right. They could be like aiming at the air right now. That's true.
Yeah, and that would go terribly.
What happened here?
Especially because what would happen if they fired the cannon without anyone standing there? Because when they fire
souls, yeah.
When they fire him standing there, all the souls get sucked up.
Yeah.
But if no one's standing there, do the souls get stored anywhere, or would the souls get sucked up and then instantly be released? Because
Yeah, they have to go somewhere. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, yeah.
Or would the cannon absorb them in some way? Maybe make a giant, powerful relic? Like, what would actually
they
happen?
might just like scatter around. It becomes like a body swap episode where everyone on the island.
So Vana just wakes up. It's like, oh, I'm Ziana. Dang.
It's like, you know what? This is not that bad. I became my bestie. Meanwhile, it's like, oh, I wonder where Ziana is. Sylvana? I think there's a problem.
I vaguely remember this.
So, it wasn't from Aaron?
No. He was battling someone else.
Ah, the giant red button. The giant red button. I wonder what you push.
Okay, yeah, here we go. And also, hello there, Chris. We acknowledge you played Shad, much like we should have done in VidCon. It was Shad.
Yeah, so it's not referring to Alina, it's referring to another child. The child that Alina actually had. That Irene and Shad had together.
Yeah.
She's not the one who did that, so I guess someone else did it but made it look like Irene.
See,
Wait, what if it was the demon warlock, actually? What if the demon warlock possessed Travis that got his child to do it? Well, got him while possessing Travis to do it to their child. Gave the relic to Shad, and Irene didn't have the heart to tell Shad.
See, I'm not always crazy when I make theories, just most of the time.
That wasn't Alina dying. That was just her panicking because being held at sore point.
What happened?
This is the prototype room, where people are consumed to make relics. And it's...
That's actually probably how Shad was defeated, actually, now thinking about it. Because, like, what if Aaron took over at the last moment, taking over Shad's body, Irene grabbed her daughter and moved out of the way, and then Irene told Irene or whoever was at the console to activate the cannon, and then they did it, and then cannon activated, destroying Shad and Aaron.
Well, if we're talking about Shad and Aaron in this particular scene, then that would have definitely had to have been Alina, not some other daughter from the past.
With this scene, like with this final, like what actually happened in this interaction, ultimately ended in Shad's death by Aaron taking over. No, that's just me speculating what could have happened after that flashback or after that snippet of a scene, like of how actually Shad initially died. Or died finally for the final time by being turned into a relic.
What does that mean?
Depends how you interpret the judgment scene from the previous episode.
I think they already took Aaron.
Aaron!
Yeah.
She reused that audio. She didn't re-record it. She reused it.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, she reused it from diaries.
Yeah, that's full-on reuse, which I get. I wouldn't want to re-record that. Like, no.
Hey, look, you nailed it the first time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No. I was too late. What did they do to you?
Well, they turned him to ash. Potentially.
Yeah. Yep, there is it. There it is.
Aaron's like, oh my god, I think I heard that scream before. In a previous life.
Yeah. Yeah, Reen Dimension got an upgrade.
Yeah. Well, sort of. I think they just redesigned it slightly to look better.
Maybe.
Although
Hey,
the
it's
light
been 900 years, which is 900 minutes in Irene's time, so he's had a bit of time to do an upgrade.
Yeah. aphmau screams so loud, it screamed between dimensions.
Yeah. Being forced to make the exact same joke with Vegeta once.
Aaron's like, where am I? What is this place?
It's like, I can't see anything.
I can't see the bloom effect. The glow effect is too much. Editor, turn it down. Oh. Hey,
Caitlin, please, just listen to me.
Caitlin.
If you don't release me, then as soon as I'm free, I'm going to throw you off this cannon.
You're gonna do that anyways. You're gonna do this anyway. It's not much of a threat if you're gonna do it already.
Yeah, that's true. Also, imagine if Lucina just went, all right, fine. Shh, just froze her over again.
No, please! This is for your own good! Someone else is controlling your body, and I know you're still in there!
If it's the same way the mind control worked on the Vera potions, which for all intents and purposes it seems to be, Kane already knows that.
You really
I
think
don't think she was told about forever potions.
No, but Lucinda knows how the control works, so she knows that Caitlyn knows, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I was about to be like, I don't think Caitlyn was ever told about the forever potion thing.
No, I don't think she was, although after this scene, someone's going to need to explain it to her.
See the
Yeah.
day. She's gone. And you'll be next.
Try it.
Care about us? Your friends?
Well, it's just the mind control talking. I mean, she doesn't actually feel that way, maybe. Partially-ish.
Never cared about you. I never cared about anyone.
Okay, Blueberry.
I'm going to send you falling to your death.
Try it. Try it. Try it. I'll freeze you over 1,000,000 times before I let you do that.
Yeah, also, I can probably levitate and we're above water, so...
Can't she levitate? We've never actually seen her levitate.
That's why I said probably. I don't know for sure, but there's a chance.
Also, Jacob, this is just a real life thing. Falling into water from an extreme height will still kill you.
Oh yeah, no, because of surface tension. Yeah, it depends on like how high she is and like what angle she falls at.
We're very high in the sky. We're very high. So, yeah, no. She would die if she fell in the water.
I'll be fine. You need to go.
Unless we're going by Minecraft rules, then she wouldn't die. but I don't think Minecraft rules count in this case. Going by real world logic.
Other than jump boost, the Minecraft rules do not count.
You need to help them.
Although MyStreet rules dictate that someone can fly across the entire entire continent and be fine and leave a crater and not
Emily's
have any
playing up her
lasting impact.
keys.
Yeah, Emily's exceptionally bored at this point.
I don't know what's happening right now.
It's okay. This is
Yeah,
you know,
we're going into such like deep dives and like theories and you know deep lore. Yeah.
ASMR, guys.
ASMR, guys. MyStreet ASMR.
We should watch MyStreet from the beginning thing with you. Not necessarily like on camera, because already did that, but yeah.
That would take ages.
I'll stay
On camera,
here.
especially.
Yeah. This is on Emily's channel, then maybe.
You need help.
Getting me to post is like, I can't think of a good. Getting Felix to not experiment on children, like.
What?
I don't know.
Listen, okay, they were good test subjects, okay? Children are very moldable, they're brainwashable. You can easily make them into mutants with relative ease because they're like very early into puberty. So, you know, it's chill.
You go then, I guess.
Listen, okay, Raina. Raina's told me she was fine with it. Okay. So
Yeah,
I
if you
did
read Emily's fanfic, you can actually find out why. You know, it's not canon, but it actually bizarrely like it captures the essence of Raina's internal thoughts exceptionally well. Like, oh my goodness. Also, speaking of that, I think
Although I will say, Emily, watch some of your verbiage in fanfics in general. You know why? Because some of it could come off suggestive, even though that whole situation wasn't suggestive at all.
I know
it wasn't suggestive at all.
I don't even know how that happened because that's not even the stuff I write. I write angst. Look at my other fanfics. I literally kill off a child's parents and let people talk about it and have a girl just stare at a child realizing her parents were never coming home.
Emily, honestly, it's not your fault. That scene is just that situation.
That scene, you have to be very careful with your words you describing it, because
even when you were writing that, it was also something where in the back of my mind, at least, I don't know about Aidan, but in the back of my mind, I knew that some people were going to interpret it in that way, even though it was 100% not intended in that way.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Add a tag that
mostly
just says
because some people were very sick.
I
and
promise.
No, don't.
Most people were just kind of were very sick anyway. That's one of the people. Most people who thought that at the time but we know they fantasized about Felix doing that to them, and in their minds they made it into something it wasn't. That's why. So I knew there was no way I could counteract that entirely, but
just gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, Felix maintains certain boundaries. Also, speaking of Mutant Girl, actually, this was the first episode when I did the original reviews of MyStreet. This was the first time, I'm pretty sure at the end of this episode, I actually advertised the Mutant Girl for the first time. I said, hey, if you like these videos, check out...
Hey, but if you like the Mutant Girl, if you like this series, go watch the Mutant Girl.
That was pretty much what I did, yes. And this was the first time, because this was like right after the first episode came out as well. Well, not right after, like a week after.
Anyways,
close enough.
Coco.
They need you.
I will be far.
I thought you were saying a naughty word just then.
No.
I'll be here.
What do you think I was saying?
I can't say on stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Put it in the private chat.
Gotta love, again, still limited Minecraft like of things. Kawaii-chan's tail is always going to sing into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can move the model more up her butt or more onto like her back, but that would look weird.
Yeah, then it would also go into the behind wall. It's a lose-lose situation. Ooh, like how the music cuts out.
Gargar.
The last scene ended on Caitlin rushing up, and now Gareth doesn't need to run up to get his cliffhanger. Gareth just saunters in. Oh no, now he's running. Never mind. Forget I just said anything. They just stop placing them in long hallways. It kind of ruins like the drama of like, oh yes, I'm coming to get you. What? Wait, give me a second. Well, baby brother.
Gareth didn't talk much when he was mind controlled on purpose, though.
Yeah, incidentally, Gareth and Zane facing off in an area with fully whited out areas, and one of them is has been enhanced by some ancient power. Role reversal, like the callback.
Although Celestial Canyon looks a lot like the Irene Dimension.
It does, probably because the architecture is meant to be similar. Because again, celestial.
Yeah, I mean, maybe made by the same people, honestly. Or like they were involved with the helping of the Irene Dimension, so.
Yeah, all created with the same kind of magic, because the first time we ever see Irene's magic is like, just cleansing an entire area, making it super like pristine and clean. So maybe this is just how that concentration manifests. Also, I think this may have been
green screened.
Yeah, this kind of looks like green screened. Yeah, I was gonna say because they're not like bobbing up and down or anyway. Or
between the flow of soul.
Well, you know, they're bob. It's Minecraft. They don't bob and down anyway. But
Yeah, it's not gotcha.
I guess because we can't see their legs and the footage is like going on much more slowly than you would think they would do if they were walking at a regular pace.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this is
probably.
But like,
Yeah.
look at this paused image. Look at the way like some of the lines around like Toby, especially.
Yeah, it's probably because they had to pause. They had to like position all of them, and then took it out that way.
And the crystal. If so,
I wonder if they'll cut away.
Just up ahead.
We're about to. Well, we're gonna cut away in a minute for a second.
The celestial.
It also kind of looks like, and then the background's moving. So I think.
Yeah.
Was meant as a weapon for protection. Life would not exist here today without it. But I should have destroyed it long ago.
Hang in there, old man.
Almost there.
Okay, they do cut up from a different angle, but you can see them splitting apart now.
Yeah, I think that's why they green screen it so because when they were actually walking, we were filming from a wide shot perspective. You see them kind of split apart, and it looks a lot more uneven.
Yeah, and they didn't walk for too long at the end, so yeah. Nice conservation of visuals there. See,
I mean, the green screen didn't look bad. It's just something I noticed a little bit.
Yeah, like I said before, Minecraft and Gacha, you know, they do have that in common. You do compromise on certain ideas and visuals. It's just not the same ones. So all those people who say, "Oh yeah, you know, Minecraft is so much better than Gacha, or Gacha is much better than Minecraft," they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Depends on the story you want to tell.
Or it depends on the kind of visuals you want to tell of your story, because like sometimes
and what skills and budget you have as well.
Yeah, see, that sounds like a pretty big budget for this.
I've been waiting too long for this, and I'm not about to let some weak excuse for a demon to try to stop me.
Demon Warlock, thank you very much.
I've already had enough of you always trying to get in my way.
Also, how dare you call me weak? I survived a crater explosion about me, and also got thrown off a roof immediately afterwards. I am by no means weak. And this.
What is that face?
I said this before, yeah.
It's
oh
goofy.
God, what's wrong with your face? Also, you know how he said fire like minutes afterwards? Can you imagine like the other person turned off the walkie-talkie and started a search party? Or they're just like, we have to hold this now. Okay, so that's going on. Fire. Whoa, I zoned out. Yes, okay, there you go. Button.
We're about to get the ending scene / cliffhanger.
Yeah, we are.
You're too late.
This looks like an entirely different location. Like, I know it's animated, obviously, but it does not.
It's just the lighting engine's way different.
Okay.
In 3D animation, you notice it more.
Dome! There you go. Simpsons movie quote.
Everyone's like, wait, is that a dome?
Yeah, how did we miss that? We were walking away from... Anyway. Here we go. Here it comes.
And they're dead. The end.
No, they just got Dementor's kissed. It's different. Here we go.
Your Levi dreams about to come true.
Yeah.
God, I think Daniel definitely should have came on the...
Daniel. Oh,
also, I don't get why Daniel didn't
Haha, get lost, Sylvana. Leave my drink.
Also, I hate how Daniel didn't actually come with them on the Celestial Canyon. I think it would have been nice if he was there. We want to help them physically, at least, to have, like, a extra fighter.
Yeah, and a werewolf, no less, who also trained when he was younger to be able to, you know, have the bravery to fight in the first place.
Like, I know you need someone to watch Sylvana, but, like, dang.
Yeah.
Like, just leave her passed out somewhere. I'm gonna be honest, she'll be fine, probably. She'll be fine, probably.
Just leave her in a ditch. She'll
Not
make
in a
her own
ditch.
way.
Just put her in a put her in a bedroom and lock the door, and then like maybe barricade the door slightly so no one can get in.
I may not know what happened to Savannah, but I don't think. Just leave her in a ditch.
She just got She got sucker punched by aphmau because Savannah didn't want aphmau to go on the cannon.
Yeah. I think that got the Levi drink last episode. It's been
and
months
now
since
Savannah's sucked. I got the Levi drink. Although I'm honestly surprised she has a soul.
Oh yeah, well, it was small and very tucked away, but it was there. That'd been really funny though if Savannah's soul was just like way smaller than everyone else's.
it's a super dim soul as well. It's like not that well lit. Like, oh my god.
Okay, we get triumphant music here.
Technically, this is his triumph.
Yeah. That's different between, like, I think this is also Final Fantasy again, probably.
Yeah.
It is.
Probably. Oh.
They made him emo.
They made him a demon.
Yeah.
And people think what?
And people thought Schlatt was the first evil goat boy in Minecraft. No.
But yeah, okay, but like I really do like that episode though. Like, yeah, there have been times where I talked about some flaws, but some of those flaws also extend to the whole series or this whole season specifically. But like, I don't know, I think it's a really solid episode. It's a solid build-up episode. It felt drawn out at times, but it's still a decent,
If people want the more positive overall Aidan review of this episode, go to his channel and check out the original review because
that wasn't the best review. It was kind of cringe. That was cringe. I was young and cringe. I was young and cringe.
I understand that, but what I mean is that one, I said before that a lot of aphmau reviewers don't like do things the way that we do. I mean, even like when, like in 2017 when I did my first aphmau review, that was still a case of like I'm dissecting this way more than anyone else has. Most of the time, the people who are doing math reviews, like again, they were mostly the devoted fan base people, I think super positively, mostly on like an emotional basis. And there I was cracking jokes as and probably and giving it much more of a hard time than anyone else was. And some of that I know has stuck with you too. I think it's because again, the more that you look back at these things, or the older that a person gets, the more that they reflect and they can realize, okay, this is not perfect, but here's things that are good, here's things that are bad.
I still really like it though. I mean,
MyStreet season 6 like things despite them. Yeah, you don't have to think that something is flawless to think that it's good. I never once thought MyStreet.
I'm excited for next episode though. I'm so excited because next episode is one of my favorite in the season.
Well, don't you worry because we're going to get to that in a week's time. Because
wait, what?
Yeah, only a week later, episode 14.
What day is it coming out?
The 30th, exactly a week from now.
Oh.
We might have to do what we did today.
Yeah, I was about to be like, we may have to do this again, by the way, for that because I probably am working. I'm definitely working.
That is perfectly fine. Yeah, we'll we can sign that off. I think you've from what I understand, you've got like an hour or so left. I believe.
Yeah, but I do kind of gotta go to get food. I haven't ate all day. I need to get food.
Okay, I was gonna say if you wanted to like watch a season 1 episode with Emily,
Nah, I mean you guys could do that if you want. I mean I'm but yeah, I definitely gotta go. I don't have time for that, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, either way, first of all, I guess final thoughts.
It was
check out Musing Girl.
Check out the Mutant Girl. Check out Fallen Angles. Fallen Angles. I'm calling it that. Call it for that for the memes. Anyways, but yeah, no. So, but like, check out our series. But like, MyStreet's good. Good MyStreet. I like MyStreet. Yes.
Wow.
Is that it? We're just gonna leave it there. We said our piece 5 years ago. You know, you can check out our channels for those ones. Yeah, we'll do that. Emily, if you got anything else to add?
I don't know what's happening, and for your information,
hey, you know,
season
Emily,
1 of MyStreet, and I technically did watch it with you, Jacob, because it was the first live stream, apart from Taming the Bad Boy episode 12, that I ever joined. It was the second one.
Okay, yeah, but you also haven't watched. You also there's like I don't
you know
know
what we should do? We should do a Taming the
No,
Bad
I
Boy
watched all of season 1 and
together.
season 2.
We should like
I
all
watched part of
rewatch
season
those
3.
episodes. You know, and my favorite episode to rewatch is gonna be episode 12. I love that.
Yeah, I see. Wait a minute. Sorry, Emily's first adventures on our streams were taken up by episode 12, which I don't think it was a stream.
That wasn't a stream. That was a video.
That was a video. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Premiere Club. Of course, I thought about. Yeah. So first of all, it was that one. Second of all, it was the MyStreet episode, which again I think is one of the worst MyStreet episodes of the bunch. It's like, wow. I'm glad you stuck around despite that. Anyway, yeah. That's.
Yes. Until next time, farewell, drugs, and all this stuff.
You're watching on
Same time, same place.
5 years
5
later.
years later. On
Drugs.
that note, until next time.
Go watch Fallen Angels.